Welcome to video 17, Autopilot for non-pilots. I like this one. This is kind of where we're going on the whole thing. It's, I'm excited about this one. You'll understand more as we go along. I also think maybe I ought to subtitle this Dan Harville's 3 Steps to Autopilot. If you remember the very first, I think it was the very first slide on the very first video, I said, we can make you that $100,000 extra this year. In the next 365 days with only 3 easy steps. And here are the 3 easy steps. You ready? Step number one, automate. Anything that you can automate, do automate. I'll get to examples of that in just a moment. Step number 2, delegate. Anything you cannot automate, then delegate it. And anything that you can't automate or delegate, eliminate. There you go, the secret sauce, as it were. Okay, automating. Let's talk about that for just a second. As you've probably already figured out, I've automated this whole training system by doing these videos. If you look right over here, you'll see video training on the aardvarkandson.com webpage. That way, I don't have to go over it and over it and over it again for whoever wants to see it. Which, I mean, not that it's it might be inconvenient for me to have to do it over and over and over again. But the cool thing is you can look at this series any time you want, and you can look at it as many times as you want. And if there's something you don't understand or something you wish to watch again, you can just back up the video and watch it all again. So that's automated. It makes my life easier, makes your life easier, and I don't have to worry about this any longer. All right. Another thing I've automated is what I do in the business. I talked about the connection between you and I and aardvarkandson.com and your customers, and how we're going to make that a strong little alliance between the 4 of us that ends up being financially lucrative for you and us, and beneficial for your clients. One thing I've done here is I've done Facebook ad units. If you don't want to do the Facebook advertising, you can go to the resources button on the aardvarkandson.com webpage, and it sends you to this link. You can find it in the resources section, where you can click on add to cart, and I get an email that says that you want to have some Facebook ad units, which I'm happy to do. So I'm not out trying to pitch you on all this all the time. Whenever you need it, you can just go there. It's automated. You click on it, and I get the information that you want some help doing Facebook ads. Let's see, what else? Automating. Here we go. This is a way that you can automate. And this whole thing's going to be, the rest of this video is going to be about you automating. I'm just showing you some examples how I did it. But on this business card, you see, Top Flight Hearing Aid Shop. That's our fictitious business that I built for you. But on your business card, I put the QR code. That's the thing on the right half of the business card, all that digital graphics there. If you don't know what QR codes are, just go to your app store, download a QR scanner, and put it on your smartphone, and then take a picture of that or just scan that, and you'll see that you can automate your business cards. Bring your 18th century business cards into the modern era. It's wonderful. I'll get into QR codes a little bit later on as well. Okay, so there's some examples of automating. Now, delegating, you've done that, and you continue to do it with employees. Most of your employees are controlled by 1 or 2 systems. Number 1, you motivate them by either the carrot or the stick. You know the old saw about that, I'm sure. Most of your employees are probably on the carrot system, which we like to call the commission system, because commission equals better performance, and that's more sales, and that's more money, not just for you, but for your employee. So everybody wins. We're all about win-win. It's great. Now, most of your employees are on the carrot system, but there's one employee, generally, in most offices, who is not. And this person is often overlooked and is critical to the success of this going on to autopilot. And I'll explain why. First, let's take a look at who that person is. It's also the person, as I said, everybody else is on the system of the carrot. This person is usually on the system of the pointy stick, and that is your FOA, your secretary. No matter how hard she works, she makes the same amount of money. If she doesn't work any harder, she still gets paid the same. She has no incentive to excel. Some people, I have nothing against secretaries or FOAs, and most of them are just wonderful, wonderful people who are overworked and underpaid. But let's hand this system off. Let's hand this thing off to the FOA. She's capable. We know she's capable. So let's incentivize her and put her on the carrot system with everybody else. And I think probably 25 bucks will do it. And the reason I picked 25 bucks is this. All along we've been talking. Well, you remember when I justified the $100,000 I said that you can make in the next year? I said you're going to make $300 profit per tablet. You're going to get 7 people in a week who qualify, and you're going to do this 50 weeks a year, right? That ends up being $105,000. But you don't make $300 profit per tablet. You make $325 per tablet. That's why I rounded the number down, and that's why I didn't do the math with this number in the beginning, because I wanted you to not be thinking about that extra 25 bucks, because I want to give it to your FOA. Because this is what happens. We take that 325 times 7 people a week who qualify, times 50 weeks per year, and you end up with $113,750, right? Cool. Now we subtract the $300 figure that we were thinking of all along, which is 105, right? Subtract that. You've got $8,750 now that you can incentivize your FOA. Or if you would rather, you can put her on a 10% commission. That's what, $32.50? Let's do the numbers. $32.50 times 7 times 50. So you could increase her pay $11,375 a year without costing you a penny, and ensuring that she makes another $105,000 for you. Holy cow. Really? Yeah. Okay, because the $25 for the 7 people a week times 50 weeks is $87.50. Okay, but what that does is that ensures that every single person who comes in the office is going to get a request form who qualifies, because this girl is going to be on top of it now. Everybody who qualifies gets their IDs copied, and that's usually the first bugaboo. They don't have their ID on them, or that they just moved, or yada yada, or yada yada yada. And so what happens is your girl is now really personally interested in making sure that she gets their ID. She might even, make suggestions. Well, can you go get your insurance card? Or she can call them in a week and say, "Hi, this is Jennifer over at Top Flight, and I haven't heard from you. And remember, you were going to bring me the ID, whatever." But for that $25, you've got someone who's really, really interested in making this system work. And when this system works, you make the extra 100 grand. She makes sure that everybody who comes through the office or everybody she meets gets a couple of those QR business cards to take home to family and friends. The QRs work. More on that later, as I said. She'll make sure that every piece of outbound correspondence has a few QR cards in it. She'll make sure that everyone she meets gets a QR card, because she's going to keep them in her purse, because she realizes the more of those she passes out, the more people are going to call you for an appointment, the more people are going to get hearing tests, the more people are going to buy hearing aids, and the more people are going to qualify for those Android tablets. And she's going to make 25 bucks every single time. Yahoo! She's going to make sure that every voucher, receipt, online claim, and adult signature required email is handled correctly, because if it's not handled correctly, nobody gets paid, and your FOA wants that extra 25 bucks in her pocket. She'll leave a QR card with every tip. Every time she goes to a restaurant, she'll post on bulletin boards. She'll take pictures of the QR code and put them online. She'll do all sorts of fun things. She'll make sure that your ads are posted in the classifieds, online, print, and free and paid. And she'll make sure the QR code's in there, because you can put these QR codes in print, and that turns the newspaper, or wherever they happen to be, the flyer, the 3x5 card that she printed and stuck up on the bulletin board of the laundromat, those all become interactive. That means everybody with a smartphone can now interact with your business card. Yeah, baby, to quote the international man of mystery. She'll post them on Facebook. She'll make sure that every $10 gift card has a half dozen of these QR cards in it. And that is gold, because people are getting the, well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but that's, just keep that in your head. That's gold. And she'll tell everyone at church, she'll tell everyone at the clubs that she belongs to, she'll tell everybody at every garage sale she goes to on the weekend. She will pass those cards out like candy, and before you know it, you're going to be, and your employees will be testing people all week long, every day. and you will see nothing but revenue increase, increase, increase. And it only cost you 25 bucks. 25 bucks that she's going to make for you. Okay. Now give her some other tools as well, like this sign, something to this nature. You can put in the lobby, so when people are sitting there and they see the sign, it says, "Do you qualify for a free Android tablet? Interesting. Please ask us how." Well, she's going to see people looking at that sign, and she's going to say, "Did you know that you probably qualify for an Android tablet if you have a bad hearing test?" Anyway, she's going to talk them up. She's going to chat them up. And when they come back out with a sad face because you gave them the bad news that they have steeply sloping presbycusis or they have a flat loss or whatever type of loss they have, she's gonna chum up, "Well, you know what? Let's get your authorization on this request form so that we can get you one of those free tablets." You have turned her into a valuable asset and ally. Also, I mentioned earlier the $10 gift cards to the buffet cafe across the street. These things are gold. I give them out when a patient brings their voucher to me for redemption. That's kind of bait because you know what? I'll talk to you a little bit later that I already spoke to you. I'm not sure. I'm shooting these videos out of sequence. People can go anywhere and cash the vouchers once they get the voucher. You want them to come to you. So you use this $10 gift card as bait to get them back in. Hey, when you get that voucher, bring it in, and Doris here at the front desk is going to give you a $10 gift card so you can run across the street to the buffet cafe and enjoy lunch on us, right? Cool. And we'll do that when you bring your voucher in. Also, when someone that you refer brings their voucher in, Doris will send you another one, and she'll give them theirs. So what you're doing now is you're building synergy. People are talking. You got some buzz going on. You know, cool, cool, cool. You know what? If you don't have a $10 buffet cafe across the street, these guys, Subway, they're everywhere, and you can get. I go in and get stacks of these at a time. I'll get $100, $200 worth of these at a time and stick them in my secretary's desk, and they are like magic. Also, sometimes if I have a slow month or a slow week or something, I'll run an ad in the paper or wherever, and I'll say, "Hey, free $10 gift card with a completed hearing test. The hearing test is free. Come on in. I'll give you a free $10 Subway gift card." Works like gold. People will come in for that gift card, and for the what let's say we said 2 hours a piece for a really good test. So that's what, 4 people a day, 20 people a week. So for 200 bucks, you will have a full schedule, a full testing schedule. Now, a lot of those people, you know, and I know, are coming just for the free card. Doesn't matter if they're deaf in one ear and blind in one eye, they're not going to get a hearing aid. But, you know, we're playing percentages here, and the percentages generally work out very, very well in your favor if you do this, okay? The other thing my secretary will do is she'll take those Avery address labels and she'll print something very similar to this. You see how you've got the little thank you note, and then you've got the QR code on the right, and she'll print those on address labels, and then she will stick those on those $10 gift cards. And again, this is part of the automating. Your girl really wants people to be excited about this, you know, because people who are old and hard of hearing know other people who are old and hard of hearing. All right. Now, a word of warning, treat these like they're petty cash because they will grow legs and walk away. I'll talk about that in a second, but log their distribution. You know, just have a log sheet, who got one, when they got one, why they got one, and how they got one. The who, what, when, where, why, how that you learned in junior high, right? Otherwise, if you look at the top, A, they will grow legs and they will walk away. And if you keep good logs on them, they're tax deductible. So you're getting a tax deduction, and you're getting to build tons and tons and tons of goodwill. And like I said, keep them, treat them like they're petty cash. My secretary one time was up front and working on something. She had the desk drawer open. A guy came in and said, "Here, I need my hearing aids cleaned." And so she closed the desk drawer, grabbed his hearing aids, went back, and rubbed all the smelly wax off of his hearing aids, brought them back out, and he left. And she opened the desk drawer, and about 10 or 15 of these things were missing. Not that he took them, not that I have any proof, but you know what I mean? They'll disappear. Okay. QR codes. I'm going to do a video on QR codes. It's not very long, but I'll show you how to get them made, what you can attach them to, and how you can use them. They're just absolutely fabulous. I love them. Bring your paperwork, your printed material, into the 21st century. Awesome. You can see here I have one on my audio prosthologist, my licensed hearing instrument specialist business card. It turns this, I've already said this, but it turns this old thing into something that's really hip and groovy and happening, man. And it's just awesome, 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 awesome. Now, oh, there we go. That arrow to the QR code. There we go. Now, here's a card that I have specially made up for my FOA. You know, because the business cards, you can give her a business card as well, but if you put something like this on here, you know, like the big red box that says free, people are going to look at that and go, free hearing test, wow, free $10 gift card, wow, and a free Android tablet, wow, okay? So this card, something like this, for your girl to pass out, just make her thousands of these. The one thing that's missing on this card is something very important. If you look down there at the phone number, it's just the phone number. Most people are smart enough to know, okay, well, I could call that phone number, and most people know, okay, I could email Tracy at Top Flight Hearing Aid Shop, and I guess that's what is that, a QR code? You know, sometimes people just have to be led by the hand, and you have to do what's called a call to action. You have to tell them what you want, and show them what you expect of them, and then expect it of them to make it happen. So if we look down there at that phone number, 555-555-5557, we're going to make that a call to action now. Ready? Call now. We've told them what to do. Call now. Here's the phone number, 555, you know, yada, yada. And explanation there, 24-hour recorded info. So if your girl's not answering that phone live, always have a recorded message on there. Hey, this is us at Top Flight. Thanks for calling. If you want a free hearing test and a free $10 gift card and possibly a free Android tablet, we need you to leave your name and your phone number clearly after the beep or what have you, okay? And you will find that people are not so intimidated. If a live person answers the phone, they don't want to go, I wanted a free thing. But if you do the answering machine and the recording, what I've found, because I track all this, I'll have people call 2 or 3 times before they finally get brave enough to leave a message. But if the girl answers, they don't leave a message ever. So I would suggest Google Voice, because that keeps track of who's calling and how often they call and when they call, and it allows them to leave either a voicemail or a text. Very, very, very cool. Okay, so we did the call to action for the phone number there. Let's also, if you look now, I also put a call to action in the bottom right-hand corner. I mean, I know this is a lot of information on a little bitty card, but a lot of times people will read every single thing you put on a business card. If you look down there, it's got two calls to action in the same sentence. Scan the QR code, that's a call to action, and call for more info. It'll work. Now you can, you know, take off or add whatever you want on this to make it more simple. Sometimes less is more, but sometimes more is more. There's a term in the digital marketing world called ABT. ABT, always be testing. You can get cards made 2 different ways and see which one works the best. You can link them both to different phone numbers with the QR code or a different phone number that you get from Google Voice, and you can track. And you can see which one if one number gets 80% of the traffic, start driving people to that number. And then change the other message and see if you can get that one up. You know what I mean? So always be testing, always be correcting. All right, another cool thing that works really, really well are bandit signs. And you know what bandit signs are. They're like these cheap little political signs or real estate signs that you see on the corners. This guy we see here, he's got a roof cleaning thing. The cool thing, and I've got a video I'm going to do about bandit signs, but I just wanted to touch on it here because this is all part of doing the putting everything on automation. Bandit signs work equally well. I mean, it's split right down the middle, 50-50. The handwritten card on the left is going to do just as well as the professionally made sign on the right. So you can do them either way. I like my signs professionally made. I do. The other thing about bandit signs is you're going to put them up all over town or all over your district or your area, and about 80% of them will disappear over the on Monday, right? Because the city, the municipality guys, they're going to drive around, they're going to pick up signs. They'll pick up garage sale signs, they'll pick up real estate signs, they're going to pick up your signs, but about 20% of them will stick and be long term. So, act accordingly. Buy extra signs and put them out next weekend. The cool thing about putting them out on Friday night or Friday at about 3 o'clock, the city guys are already off work in their mind, and they're not picking up signs. Not going to do it until Monday or Tuesday. So you've got 5 days of your sign up and grabbing attention. Now, classified ads. I don't know if I'm going to do an entire video on classified ads. I think I can cover it here, and I think I can cover it fairly quickly. There are two types, print and online, as you may well imagine. And of those two types, there are two flavors. That is paid and or free. So if we make a grid here, we can see you've got paid print and online paid and print free and online free. There's good and bad, pro and con in all of these, but you always want to target locally. If you're in, let's say if you're in Arlington, there's no need to target Fort Worth and Dallas because nobody's driving from Dallas to your place to get a hearing aid or even a free hearing test or even a free Android tablet. Okay, so target locally. Let's take a look at some of these. Backpage is about one of my favorites. It has recently fallen in stature before God and men because they were convicted of how shall we say this, having a section for adults only, and in that there were some controversy that they may have been trafficking human flesh or what. I don't know. It seemed to me that I don't know. It didn't seem like that to me, but it apparently there's enough information there to convict people. So I still use Backpage. Their adult section was completely closed down, but lately in the last few weeks it's opened back up, and they seem to have a rein on it, and they're behaving better. So that still doesn't mean that it's not a great way to get some attention. The downfall of this is if you're in I don't know, let's say you're in Texarkana, they don't have a Texarkana Backpage because you're not big enough. They have a Dallas Backpage. They have an Austin Backpage. They have Corpus Christi Backpages. They've got some good-sized, medium-sized towns, but if you're in a smaller town, you're not going to get a Backpage. Not for you. And you don't want to advertise for somebody else in another city. Craigslist, I'd stay away from it. Lots of losers, lots of basement dwellers, lots of frustrated 35-year-old guys who have never had a girlfriend or sit in the basement, and they will torpedo your ads. They'll flag them, and because they got nothing else to do in life, and then it's just a waste of time, as far as I can tell. Craigslist, Thrifty Nickel, Penny Saver, and American Free Ads. They're both free, and they are both pay, or all three free and all three pay. And I've had a lot of success out of both of those, or all three of those. So I would use those. At least, remember, ABT, always be testing, and ABC, always be correcting. So try them. If they work for you, fabulous. If they don't work for you, drop them. Oodle, you're going to come across Oodle, which has the potential, or had the potential, of being a fabulous free site, but every single ad I've ever put up on Oodle or on free ads time have resulted in nothing but 9 tons of spam hitting my inbox. So I would completely avoid those. Local papers. How do I feel about the local papers? This is what I think. A, they're expensive, generally, and sometimes have limited response, but often they'll have what's called a business card page, and that business card page is fabulous. You can put a picture of your business card, you send your business card in, and they will print it. And remember, we got the QR code on our business card, so now your business card is interactive. That's right. Also, the only place that I would really buy an ad in the local papers to do this is I would do it on the obituaries page, because, well, the obituary page gets read every day. Guys, I think starting about the age of 55 will start opening up the newspaper every day and look and see who they know or has gone on to the great beyond. So often ads on the obituary page get noticed when others don't. If you can get somebody to write a story about you and put in the newspaper, that's a great thing. If you're in a little local town and they're starving for something to write about, and you know the reporter or can get in touch with the reporter, call them up and tell them about the free Android tablet program, and have them come over and take some pictures of you in your office and have them write a story and put it in the newspaper. Worth it, man. That's worth it if you can get them to do that. And if you can't get them to do that, what you can do is you can do it yourself. You can write a press release. You can write your own story, take your own pictures, take them over and hand to the reporter, and he'll put it in his desk. And whenever he needs something quickly, he's got a big hole he has to fill and doesn't have time to go out and write a story or make one up, he'll just put your story in and put his name on it, which you don't care at all because it gets you all that free press. There are other places you can go, like Facebook groups and Google Hangouts and Yahoo groups and stuff. I actually only think that the Facebook does any good. Say you live in, let's say, Corsicana, and you go to Corsicana on Facebook, and there are all sorts of groups. There's the Corsicana Four-Wheelers Club. There's the Corsicana Horses Hangout for people who love horses. There's the Corsicana Cat Lover page. But there's also the Corsicana Buy, Sell, and Trade, or Free, right? There's the Corsicana Free Stuff page. There's the Corsicana Swap, Free, and Barter page. Join those groups and then put your ads up saying, hey, I've got free Android tablets for those of you who qualify. To qualify, come to my office and get a free hearing test. I'll give you a free $10 Buffet Cafe card, and if you qualify, we'll get you a free Android tablet from the state. Yeah, that works. People will be crawling all over you. Okay. So, like I said, always be testing. Well, to always be testing, you have to always be inspecting. Keep an eye on what you are doing. Keep track of your results. Keep track of your sales. And, ask people, how did you hear about me? And then when you find something that works, as they say in the digital business, wash, rinse, and repeat. If it worked on Corsicana Buy, Sell, Trade, it might work on Corsicana Swap, Sell, Trade, or something like that. Or if it worked in the Penny Saver, it might work in your local paper or on the Thrifty Nickel. But find out what works, and then repeat that process. You redouble your successes. And here's a great term that I've learned to use is out of curiosity. It takes the threat out of anything you ask people. A lot of times you'll say, you got a customer sitting in your waiting room, and you say, how did you hear about us? Now they feel like they're on underneath the spotlight. How did I hear about you? The Yellow Pages. Well, you don't advertise in the Yellow Pages. They didn't hear about you in the Yellow Pages. How'd they hear about you? But if you say, hey, out of curiosity, it turns it into a conversational thing. So how'd you hear about us? Oh, yeah. Now the pressure's not on them. They can think a little bit longer. My cousin, she went to the Buffet Cafe, and I was with her, and she had a card, and it had you, and I scanned the QR, and I thought I'd come in. Oh, cool. Well, thanks. But the out of curiosity takes the pressure out of a question like that, and you usually get a more honest answer. There's my email, danharville@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me there. If you want any Facebook advertising, that's what I do. Go to the resources page on aardvarkandson.com, and you'll see in the resources a link that says, I don't remember, it's not right in front of me, Facebook ad units. Click on that. You can buy ad units. They're good for a month. My fee is built into it, and I run ads for your place. You don't even have to, it's all on AutoPilot, right? That's what we're doing here. My email, once again. Oh, let me tell you this. Where's the pot of gold in all this? There is indeed a pot of gold that you've been sitting on. You didn't even realize it. There it is. Your files are full of gold, and let me tell you why. Let's say you got 300 people in there that you've been testing over the years. 300 people, and you're going to do this system with them. You get your girl on the phone right now. 300 people times $300 is $90,000. That gets you really close to your $100,000 goal this year. And the cool thing is you can give them a free tablet or whatever gizmo they come up with next every 5 years. So you can rotate through these people. It's just like the Golden Gate Bridge in California. Have you seen it? It's not just large, it's not just big, it's gargantuan. And they have a paint crew. And what happens, the paint crew, they have a crew that goes in front of them, does all the prep work. You know, you've done painting. They got guys who replace rusty nuts and bolts, and they've got guys who sand problem areas, and then they put the primer on it, and they got a paint crew that comes behind them and repaints the Golden Gate Bridge is orange. It's not gold, but I guess you probably already knew that anyway. So they've got these crews, and the crew starts at one end of the bridge, and it takes them all year long, sometimes longer, to paint that bridge. And then when they get to the other end, guess what? They've got to start at the beginning again just because it's so big. But 300 folks times $300, your $90,000 right there in your file cabinet. You can hit it right now. You're welcome. If you look down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, there should be a couple of links. One to the next video on YouTube, if you're following YouTube along, or if you want to go back to aardvarkandson.com, you can follow that link. Thanks a lot.